Welcome to another episode of Flow with Tarot. Flow. And I'd like to periodically show you the name of this deck, which is, can you see that? Mahogany Tarot. And this is designed by Kashira Hickson. She is on Etsy. That is how I found this. And she also has her own website, mahoganytarot.com. So check her out. If you are looking for melanated cards. All right. Her deck, her tarot deck, is the melanated version of the Rider Waite. All right. I love this deck. So let's just pick a card here real quick and see what we have. All right. All right. All right. So we have the Five of Cups. So just off top, I feel I don't feel shame, but I feel like this card can bring up hidden shame. Hidden shame of what? Hidden shame of what has happened in the past to you. Hidden shame for perhaps a decision that you made that now you're thinking, okay, that was not the best decision. But yet it's too painful for you to just go toe to toe with the shame. So you push it away and pretend that you're not shameful. You may, if someone brings it up, you may laugh it away. If it comes up in the quiet times or moments in your life, you busy yourself with something else to not go toe to toe with the shame. And so what can happen is when you are pushing the emotion of shame away, you can, in a sense, go into an unhealthy isolation. Now, isolation can be good to a certain point when you are in the middle of transitioning in your life, or perhaps you're working on a major product or project. Product could be a product. Okay, you're working on a major project. I keep saying project, and you need that time to put all your energy into what you're doing. Perhaps you're writing a book. In that case, isolation can be healthy. And even with that, you still have to give yourself space to just have some outside interaction just for a moment. And then you go back to your project. Okay. But when you are trying to escape an unwanted emotion, in this case, shame, you can go off into isolation and it becomes very imbalanced and very unhealthy. You get into your head, and then that could turn into depression. It could turn into you projecting that shame onto other people, because that's what happens when you suppress any emotion that you don't want to deal with. It turns into you projecting that onto other people. Okay. So you have to, with this shame, you have to say, okay, what is the shame showing me? The shame is showing, perhaps the shame is showing embarrassment, because again, this leads into isolation. So now you've isolated yourself from being around other people, because those other people, they know about the decision that you made that didn't turn out the way that you wanted it to or thought that it should. So perhaps you're hiding yourself from those people so that you don't have to listen to them throw the decision up in your face. You don't have to listen to them throw that point in your life up in your face. Okay. So you have to look to say, okay, what is this shame showing me? Is it showing embarrassment? Okay, yes, I felt embarrassment that that happened. And just let it be there. This is a good time, and I've talked about this before. This is a good time for you to pull out pen to paper and start writing. Start writing what the shame is showing you. Okay, it's showing you embarrassment. The shame is showing you fear, because now you're faced perhaps with another decision. Maybe this decision has nothing to do with what happened in the past, but because you made a quote wrong decision in the past, now you're stagnant. Now you're procrastinating because you are afraid of making a quote bad decision. Now you really don't trust yourself. That's what the shame is showing you. Write that shit out. Write it out. And in your writing, what you're going to find is your soul is going to start to speak. And before you know it, you're going to have an incantation that you can do for yourself. You can do a ritual to get rid of the shame, to lift the shame out of your nervous system so that you can actually process what happened with the decision so that you can move on, so that you can learn to appreciate that you can make decisions that are aligned with your soul. That if you come to a fork in the road, so to speak, that your intuition will guide you on which path to take, on what to do, what to say, where to move to. You have to begin to trust yourself again. Also, and I'm using shame came up first, so I'm just gonna go with that. Shame shows you fear. Shame brings up procrastination. Shame brings up unhealthy isolation. Shame brings up embarrassment. Shame also clouds the moments in your life where you made a decision and you got the results that you wanted. Shame clouds that because now your entire focus is on that one decision and you're discounting all the other times when you made a decision that worked out for you. Shame hides the evidence that you actually can trust your intuition, that your intuition is never going to be wrong, that you can make a decision where you will get the desired results. Shame clouds that. So now you've missed all that. So now you're so consumed. Your nervous system is so consumed with that shame where you don't see those other times in your life when you had successful decisions. You literally forget about those because that decision that led to an unwanted outcome is illuminated. So that's another dimension of shame. So, what you'll want to do, let's see, give me a second. I want to check something here. So, now that even though we just got over this full moon, or not over, but we were in the peak of a full moon. Now, technically, it's in a waning moon where the full moon is now, it's hiding itself, it's like going away, so to speak. Now would be a perfect time to do a ritual for yourself. That underneath this waning moon, underneath this diminishing moon, that shame goes away with it. That shame also diminishes. So you'll want, instead of the shame, write how you want to feel. Write how you want to feel about your decisions. Write how you want to feel about the decisions that you have in your life, that you have to make. You'll always be making decisions. Life is full of decisions. So you'll want to Get rid of that shame so that you can start to view your decision making as a trusted process. So you can, if you have a black candle, use a black candle to get rid of shame. You can use a, even if you don't, let me make this simple. You can use a black candle. Okay. Even if you don't have a black candle, you can use a white candle because a white candle can be neutral depending on your intention. Okay. So you use either a black candle or a white candle. Face that shame. Look at what the shame is showing you. Write a letter to shame and say, you no longer have a place in my consciousness. Shame, you no longer have a place in my nervous system. Shame, you no longer have a place in my mind. You no longer have a place in my body. Any purpose that you had here is done. It is over. You are removed from my life. You're removed from my voice. You're removed from my energetic field. You're removed from my ori. You are removed from my life. You're removed from my path. And say that over that candle and just sit. Gift yourself that space and time to do that. Okay. So let me know what your takeaways are. Five of Cups.